All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Keeping It Flower Shop podcast, and I am Shamiel, and this is the beautiful Mona Lewis, and today we'll be talking about domestic violence and why we chose the type of men we chose and why we stayed. We're just gonna get real deep in how we overcame it and how it made us better with the different choices, in men. So I actually start off with my story. I went through domestic violence a couple of times, but I talk about the most severe one. I was about 18 and 19 years old. I was with this guy, and it started off cool, but I did see some red flags. He was kind of like controlling in a way, but he was sweet. Like, he would buy me whatever I wanted. He was real sweet, but he was controlling. And that was a red flag or whatnot. So it was one day, like, we was walking in the hood, and this guy had came up to me and he spoke to me. He told the guy, "Hey, don't speak to her, like, don't talk to her." And he was just like, "Okay." I'm like, "Okay." So, like I said, a couple of weeks went by. We saw the guy again. He spoke to me again, man. He beat that boy ass out there. Wow. So, like, I'm telling you, he beat his ass, and that was like before he had even started whooping on my ass. Like, I was seeing all the traits then, but I still stuck around because I'm like, even though I did feel sorry for the boy, but I'm like, oh, I got somebody that loves me. He wanna, but that one love. That was crazy. Okay, so I was seeing all the red flags, and then eventually, like, those arguments just started turning into goddamn backhands, punches. Like, it got bad. It got real bad, and it got so bad. Like, one day, my mother had said something to us while we was fighting, and he just went in her room and he just flipped her bed over, and he just snapped. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this no more, cause my family can get hurt off of my bullshit, and that's not what I was trying to do. So it's like, I called the police, and then I was the type of person, like, I didn't like to call the police because, I always trying to protect them. I was trying to save an image. So I didn't call the police or whatnot. But this particular time, I called the police, and it actually saved my life, like, for real, because it's like we were able to actually finally separate. And now he knows, like, oh, she'll call the police. Because he was just too comfortable. He was so comfortable with whooping on my ass, but I made him that comfortable because I was allowing a lot of shit. I was going back and forth. Like, I leave, come back, and my ass whoop, leave, come. Like, so he was so comfortable in his mind, like, oh shit, she ain't going nowhere. Like, she here. And Mona, she has been through a lot. She was telling me before we kind of got started, she went through it 3 different times with 3 different men. So I let her get into details and about, like, her situation.
Okay, mine started when I was around your age, 19. Dated an older guy. Actually, I was pregnant for the older guy. I had the child. And this particular time, he had never shown me. I had heard that he had beat up on his previous wives, never laid a hand on me. But this time we went out after I had my child, my first boy. And I saw a guy from high school. And me smoking weed, he was a drug, he was a plug. So
Yeah.
I had plenty of weed, so I slipped him a joint.
Okay.
He thought it was my number because it was wrapped up in white paper.
Yeah.
So if I slipped him the joint, he'd go outside, I go outside. He called me outside, and I was like, okay, well, what's going on? You gave that man your number? I was like, no, I didn't give him my number. I couldn't tell him that I had given his drugs away to
Yeah.
So it went from there. He hit me with a pistol, and I get out the car. As I had my pistol in my purse, and I took my purse, hit him, I get out and I run.
Yeah.
First thing I do, tell my sister, because she's in the club, she didn't know what was going on. Call my mom, my uncle. Mom shows up, uncle, aunts with pistols and guns blazing, ready to do whatever is necessary. That was the first time.
I don't know how your folk get there.
Right.
I don't know how they do.
I still didn't get it. I still didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because the reason I didn't get it was because of the money.
Okay. So you were comfortable with
the money.
Yeah. So you were like, you know what? I could put up with this because he's doing this for me.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
He's provided.
He's provided.
A roof over my head, a car to drive, clothes, you know. And the last straw was when we were coming home. Well, actually, I was out at the club talking to the guy again.
Mm-hmm.
Not my boyfriend, just
Yeah.
somebody that I was conversing with in the car.
Yeah.
And he come and snatched the keys out the car, put me in the car with my 2 babies in the car. We're headed to Birmingham. I won't say the destination, but on 20th Street, Ensley exit, he stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And he got out and he began to kick me. And I had my babies in my arms and I begged him, don't do this in front of my children. But in between that time, my sisters knew what was going on. My sister and my mom knew what was going on.
Right.
So they met us at the house. They actually got there before the police got there.
Yeah.
And when they got there, my sister told me that if I did not leave him that night,
Yeah.
not to call her anymore.
Yeah.
But what,
you felt it.
right,
Yeah.
but what made me actually leave was because the money wasn't worth it.
Thanks.
The status with people wasn't worth it. My
Right.
kids having the big fine house, me driving Mercedes and Cadillacs, it wasn't worth it.
Right.
So I finally made up in my mind that night when he pushed my mom that, no,
He
I'm not
pushed
gonna-
your mom?
He pushed my mom, and that's when my sister got into it with him. And that's when she told me if I did not leave that night, never to call her again, to come to my rescue. So then I knew I had no back.
Back.
I had no support.
Right.
So I had to leave. I stayed that night. Now I did stay that night. Mind you, I stayed. Me and my kids stayed that night because I still, keep in mind, I had to go back and get my car.
Mm-hmm.
He had the keys to the car, so I had to stay there that night to get the keys to get my car back.
Mm.
But after that, that was it. I was done.
Okay.
That was the first one.
And that was the first one. Okay, so wow, that was a lot. So what about the last particular person? Like, how did that?
He was a drug dealer as well.
So were all 3 of them drug dealers?
Yes.
Okay, so it was the type of men that you were involving yourself in.
Involving myself.
Yeah, so and to say that like this is not a black man bash, this is just pretty much telling you like the decisions that we made cost us this
Right.
type of stuff. So like let's clear it up, like we ain't putting the black man down, none of that. It's just we chose the wrong type of people who are living this type of lifestyle and doing this type of shit. So okay, so damn, so all of them, and then the guy who I was dating, he was a drug dealer too. So yeah, and I want to say he snorted cocaine from time to time. I know he did and dabbed, and I wasn't really aware of it until like something happened, you know. But yeah, like drugs be playing a big part in this shit too. Like, so I know you had kids with the first one, right?
Right.
Okay.
The second one I had one child with.
Okay. The second we had one child with. Okay.
And the third one I didn't have any kids. By that time my kids were, I think my baby, it was 1996 or 97. My baby was 5.
Mm.
He was a drug dealer, but he was cheating and I caught him cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular night, he whooped me out of my clothes. I had been to my sister's birthday party in February of 97.
You called him cheating and he whooped you,
And
right?
he whooped me out of my clothes.
Yeah. And that's how they do. That's how they
cheat.
And he ain't that some shit.
Yeah.
So, okay, so like, I know you said something about like he put hands on your mother. Like I said, he went in. The guy who I was dealing with, he did something with my mother. Went in and just tore her arm up. And she said like that was enough for her. And that was kind of like my point too when I was like, you know what? Like I'm getting my people hurt. It's dangerous. Really, it's like it's always been dangerous. Was like, oh, he really is crazy. It's like if you would put your hands on my mother,
Right.
I can't do it. 'Cause it's like I can take the hurt, but like I can't allow you to hurt my family. So that was kind of like a final straw for me. So I wonder how. I bet a lot of women got that. Like that's weird. It's just crazy how that just. It's crazy. Okay. And then so like, how did you just break free from just all of that? Like what was just like you was like I'm just tired of this shit. Like how did you just break free from all of that?
First, I left my home
Mm-hmm.
and I moved in with this lady. She was an evangelist.
Okay.
And my car, I didn't have a car. I didn't have transportation. I was working in Brighton at the time.
Okay.
And so it was easy for me to move in with her and get back and forth.
Yeah.
And she just spoke to me one day, and she told me, she said, the Lord said that He's tired of you getting your head beat up on. She didn't really know what was going on with me, why I was here without a car or whatever, you know. She really didn't know, but I thank God for her. Because when she spoke that into me, that spoke life. That let me know that day that God cared about me and my well-being. And that was not His will and purpose for my life, to be a punching bag. So from that day forward, in March of '97, I was rebaptized and dedicated my life to Christ. No, I don't live like I should or the way people think I should, but my faith is still in God. And I trust Him, and He brought me out. You know?
That's beautiful.
And I can remember the night that the gentleman, he jumped on me. I called the police. I was laying in the bed for an hour, and she just walked in. She said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." She said, "Ma'am, it doesn't look like it because I was bruised and battered." I said, "I'm okay because I called on the name of Jesus." And when I began to call on the name of Jesus, my healing began that night. So by the time the police officer made it there, he had already done the work. He had already done the work. And I was fine from that point forward.
That's beautiful. So like just moving forward with like dating men, like since you had been through domestic violence, like were you able to see like the red flags in men? Like since you done been through it, like were you able to see the red flags then and just get out of the situation, or how did you deal with those types of situations?
Yeah, I could see the red flags. And once I saw it, I backed off and I explained to the gentleman that you're not physically putting your hands on me, but the way you're talking to me is disrespectful. You're trying to belittle me, you know, and talk down to me, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to be a helpmate. I'm not here for you to just dog me out in front of everybody. Tell me to shut up, you know. Then I have to come back around my family and they're like, "He tell you to shut up?" Yeah. You ain't got to worry about him no more. Because he won't be back around. And he's not. He's not.
Okay. That's beautiful. Like, so the main message that I wanted to get across with this particular story is like the learned lesson. She went through it 3 times. And the reason she went through it 3 times is because she wasn't learning the lesson. But the moment she learned the lesson, it stopped. So it's like God will we'll continue to go through the same shit. We'll continue if we don't learn the lesson. Like the lesson is to teach us. Not make us feel like, oh, we curse, why me? Like you going through this so you can know in the future when it presents itself to you, like no, you run the other way. So and then you can teach your kids this shit. So it's all about learning the lesson, and it's all on us and the choices that we make. You know, you have some powerful, good black men out here. You know, so. Like I said, we ain't bashing the black man, but I just wanted to bring awareness. Like we choose these type of men, and then we stay in this situation for money. I mean, we stay in these situations for money, feeling like, oh, we need them. Like shit, like, we got ourselves. We can make some shit shake. Like we are so fucking powerful. So like, with that being said, like we gonna go into closing. Did you want to end it on anything?
I just wanted to say to any young woman, black, white, doesn't matter your race. If you're going through domestic violence, seek help. There is help for you. Build you a community. And when I say a community, I mean a friend that you can text with a code. A friend that you can also, it may not be the code that you're in dire, well, it's a dire need anyway, but with the 911 emergency, you have friends that you can text and say, hey, I need you to call the police, because one thing you're gonna realize, he's not gonna want you to get that phone. He's gonna keep that phone away from you. So have, before, I'm not saying you're gonna know, I'm not saying you're gonna know when it happens, but when it does happen, if you're going through it, make sure that you have a community around you, a circle of friends that's gonna know when you call, hey girl, that hey girl may mean that I need you to dial 911.
Yes.
So build your community. I'm not saying that,
if you don't know what to do, like I see exactly what you're saying. understand. Like the real people understand. Real recognize real. We get it.
Right. Yeah,
And that is deep. So yes, like let people know. Like don't just be going through this shit and feeling like you just gotta go through it and just gotta be a secret, because like people can actually help you get through this shit. Like, you know, but at the end of the day, you're gonna really have to want to help yourself too. And I know some situations are deeper than others. Well, like you said, you can't even get to your phone. And so it's like, what do you do in a situation like, well, I can't get to my phone, I can't get to my car? Like, what do you do in situations like that? Like, how did you, like, you just had to do what you had to do until the time came to do what you had to do? Facts.
But the last one, I cold turkey.
Like out there, cause I know shit like nope. I learned my lesson.
Right.
Like that's the importance of learning the lesson.
Right.
And like a lot of people, when you find yourself constantly dealing with the same type of man, the same type of like abuse, disrespectful man, it's not because it ain't no good men. It's because you keep choosing the same type of men. You're not learning the lesson from the previous. So until you learn the lesson, you will continue to learn the damn lesson. You'll just continue to go through it. Like you'll always be going through it until you just be like, you know what? And we're gonna close on this. So like she said, anybody who's going through that, please seek help. You don't have to be in this situation. That's not real love. That's not. Seek help. Call 911. Run somewhere. Go. Like, especially young girls, we think it's cute. We think it's love. Like, no, it's not love. Like, man, no, it's too many men killing women and then killing themselves, and it's just too much of that going on. Like, that just needs to stop. And it starts with us women choosing, making better decisions. Like, it's all on us. I'm gonna put that on us. Like, it's all on us. And we'll end it on that. All right, thank you.
Shaviel.